Welcome back. Welcome back. Happy Friday and all of that. I want to share a secret with you all. And I do this before every single live stream. I'm dead serious. I cannot go live. And if I do, it'll be a horrible live stream. And I noticed a while ago that I always feel better and always do a better job if I perform this ritual before I go live. That ritual is song and dance. Song and dance. Get the spirit revved up, sort of charge the spirit, and then you interact with other spirits. Because you got to remember, we as people, we're sources of energy more than we are anything else. We are sources of energy. So if you charge that energy source, it might be more effective at charging other sources of energy. Right? So there might be some magical, mystical stuff going on. I don't know. Let's roll with it. Oh, sorry about that. Sorry about that. I did not know y'all were looking at that. And I don't want to show that right now. Okay, my apologies. I'm not on the correct screen. And I want to deal with dog safety. Now, I was about to talk about this yesterday. I was about to do a live stream on it. And I actually changed the live stream mid-live stream. Well, I'm going to talk about it today. And I want to focus on this dumb, dangerous dog designation. These dumb, dangerous dog laws. As some of you know, in Yorkshire, police departments are trying to ban XL bully dogs. Yorkshire, okay, this is over there in the UK. The police department is trying to ban XL bully dogs. Now, keep in mind, that's just one bully breed. So it's a worthless ban, and it's just a big show, just a big circus that involves everybody that's involved in it. Some of you may have heard about this. Now, I found this video, and I'm going to go ahead and share it. But this live stream is really in response to this article right here. This article surfaced yesterday, and I was reading yesterday, and I was getting so angry, I could not sit still. This has happened to me twice already, where I get so desperate. Well, I won't say desperate. I become very anxious. I have to talk about, like, if I hear a crazy story like this, I have to talk about it. I can feel the energy building up. And today, that same feeling came back. It was like deja vu. Like I relived that same anger today. Now, the title of this is Dangerous Dog Designation Upheld for R section dog who mauled a girl, 13, in a gruesome attack. So this dog mauled a 13-year-old. Now, I'm sure none of you remember this 13-year-old, seeing that so many kids are attacked by dogs, right? So this mutt, and they constantly use the dog's name. The dog's name is the very first word in the article. Okay? What you're reading now, this is just a headline. What's the very first word in the article? They refer to the dog by its name before they do anything else. Now, I want to slow walk. How many of y'all have read this? This is the most disturbing story I've ever read in my life. Uh-oh, wait a minute, wait a minute. Okay, oh, okay, we're good. Sorry about that. I thought I ended the live stream. I had two live stream windows up. Sorry about that. How many of y'all read? This is a horrible story, people. Let me tell you. Let me sum it up because it's a long article. Let me sum it up. These people's dog attacked their 13-year-old daughter. Do y'all know these parents got up there and downplayed the injuries and basically stood up for the dog? It was so bad that this media outlet had to do a story on how flabbergasted they were to see the parents get in front of a judge, a magistrate, and make the comments that they made. It's truly, this is remarkable stuff. I have no idea what is going on in the head of these psychologists, sociologists, these psychiatrists. Why are you not closely examining these dog nutters? You can't be a true fan of the human mind and not be fascinated at these people's insanity. But anyways, it says in a rare appeal, magistrate designated this dog as dangerous. Okay? And they talk about how costly it is and the burden that it puts on the owner. Now, this is a direct quote. 13-year-old was attacked gruesomely with many, many attacks, sutures. Okay, 70-minute. Said, oh, I really dread the idea of anything horrible happening to that young 2-year-old. Now, there's a 2-year-old that also lives in that same home. And the judge got up and mentioned it, brought it up. Like, okay, this dog attacked your 13-year-old child. You have a 2-year-old child inside the home. I really dread the idea of anything horrible happening to that 2-year-old. Yet this same judge refused to euthanize it. He allowed that dog to live. They have taken this dog to dog shows, allegedly. Okay? This same dog that attacked this 13-year-old, they claim to have taken this dog to dog shows. Now, a lot of people, when they see these dogs at dog shows, they think, oh, look at how well trained they are. No, those people in there with those dogs, they are idiots just like the dogs. You know, people kill me how they think they can, they got so much control over a dog's brain. But when you press them, they will admit that they have no idea what's going on in that dog's brain. They will admit that the dog could attack them or someone else at any moment, and that they themselves have no idea whether or not the dog will attack anyone. They'll admit that. You put them in the right situation or make the proper threats. Like if they're under pressure, they'll admit that. They will admit to that. They can't deny it. But anyways, so they mentioned that the dog is 2 years old. I don't know why. Like, who cares? And how's that even supposed to matter? This big, massive dog, who cares? They seem to point this out to try to project it as a puppy. Oh, it didn't know any better. And do y'all know that's exactly what the parents tried to imply? Now remember, the victim, the 13-year-old child, the 13-year-old child's parents bent over backwards to defend the dog and to make sure the dog did not get euthanized. They even went to the point of blaming their 13-year-old child. And it sounds like they tried to make up an elaborate lie. Craziest stuff. Now, check this out. Now, any dog that has aggressively bitten, attacked, or caused severe injury to a human being on public or private property may be deemed dangerous. May be deemed dangerous. Okay? Now, the girl's parents, the 13-year-old girl's parents' name is Jimmy Robinson II and Tennille Payne. These are the parents of the 13-year-old who was attacked. They appealed the city's decision. And I think the city was ready to euthanize this dog. You cannot make this up. They represented themselves. And they didn't have any, they were not familiar with procedures. But look at what they said. Look at what the parents, now the parents of the 13-year-old is also the owners of the dog that attacked her. So the parents look at it as, just a fight between kids. They're fur mommies and fur daddies. Really not even that, because they view the dog as superior to the child. But look at what they wrote in this article. Look at how the author of this article wrote the word remarkably. The couple downplayed the severity of the attack despite disturbing images that showed their daughter scarred, punctured, lacerated, and scratched on her arms, legs, feet, back, and hands, with 8 of the 10 spots requiring stitches. So 8 of the 10 injuries were gaping wounds. That's very important. Keep that in mind. 8 of the 10 spots were gaping wounds that required stitches. Even the author had to point out how remarkably insane this behavior is. I told y'all, anytime you speak in defense of these things, you're going to sound like an utter lunatic. You're going to sound even crazier if you're trying to defend these things after they have attacked someone. And this is not just someone. This is their own child. So even the author was like, whoa. That's not how it's supposed to be done. As dog lovers, after an event like this, you're supposed to do the right thing. At least give it up to a shelter. Now, people, that's not all. Do y'all know after they took the dog, that same dog that attacked their 13-year-old daughter actually attacked one of the shelter workers? After they confiscated the dog, it attacked one of the shelter workers. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'll come back to that. Look at what else the parents said. Now, who is this? Robinson and Payne remarkably downplayed. Now, this is Robinson. This is the father. Oh, my goodness. He said it was not an aggressive bite. He was just playing around. Now, remember, 8 out of 10 of her wounds required stitches. And the father of this 13-year-old child got in front of a magistrate and said it wasn't an aggressive bite, that the dog was just playing around. He said if the dog was not playing around, she would have been more torn apart. Now, can you get any more dangerous than that? Something that when it decides to play around, can just kill you. And if you don't die, you'll end up with gaping wounds and lacerations that require stitches, where that saliva is so toxic, you're going to get some infections, most likely. It's going to take weeks to recover, months. Wow. You can't make this up. The father, the so-called authority figure, the protector. I use that word very lightly. This is supposed to be the protector of the home. More than anything, understand, fathers as protectors, the primary people you're supposed to protect is your kids, not even your wife. Not even your wife deserves the level of protection you give your kids. Now, I know a lot of you guys, you're not even aware of that. You don't think like that. You know, manhood is very foreign to a lot of, sadly, and womanhood to a lot of women today. So let's work on that. This is supposed to be the protector of the family. After he gets after he gets her attacked, he then says it wasn't aggressive. The dog was just playing. Okay. Oh boy. Now they say, this is the crazy part. They say that the 13-year-old daughter decided to walk the dog at 1 o'clock in the morning. The mother of the girl said she didn't even know that she went outside. The father was asleep. Not the father. The mother was asleep. Does that sound, that sounds very weird to me. 1 a.m., a 13-year-old decides to walk a dog. Okay, so as she's walking the dog at 1 a.m., the dog attacks her. The neighbors hear her screams. The dog overpowered the 13-year-old. The 13-year-old's name is Danielle. Okay? The dog overpowered her, threw her to the ground, and attacked her repeatedly. Now look, this is from the animal control officer. Look at what he said, or she said. There is no evidence that the attack was provoked. The animal control officer said, and this is a direct quote from her. She said, "I feel the dog attacked with no warning and kept attacking. And I know from my opinion, it sounds like she was rolling around trying to get away and she was screaming." There are other children in the house as well. With an unprovoked attack, it's hard to tell when they will attack. Oh my goodness. What did you just say? I did not really, she lost me. And I hate when people do that. When you talk, just speak clearly. Use simple sentences. Stop trying to sound all sophisticated, people. Stop that. You can sound just as bright using the most simple sentences available. Lord, with an unprovoked attack, it's hard to tell when they will attack. Yeah, okay. That sounds about right. And that's exactly why they should have euthanized it. But these parents decided not to. And even after the dog went on later to attack a shelter worker, they still tried to defend this dog. The dog was impounded at the Humane Society required by law when it has attacked someone. At the Humane Society, a kennel worker was again bitten by the dog while walking it, causing a bleeding laceration. The city made much of the second bite, obviously, citing reason enough to euthanize it. The magistrate did not agree. He was not off-put by the second bite. He was concerned about the Humane Society victims' affidavit saying that the shelter was understaffed. So basically he said, oh, the dog attacked a staff member. Oh, it's because they're understaffed. So what we're looking at is dog lovers all throughout the legal system. Because the judge sounds like a dog lover. Okay. Boy, oh boy. He said, maybe there's a little bit more going on at the shelter with staffing. So I'm not really going to consider this so heavily. The second bite that we have. Wow. Look at his reasoning. You're not going to consider the second bite because the shelter was understaffed? What do they need more staff for? To restrain the dog? What are the extra people going to do? I'm quite sure she did not need any help. Whatever she was doing, I'm sure she's done it by herself with dogs thousands of times by now. You don't get to hide behind, oh, it was understaffed. Oh, how convenient. How convenient. So I'm sure y'all figured these people out by now. They lie every opportunity they have. If they don't see an opportunity to lie, they will make up a reason to lie. They will try to reach for a lie, even if it sounds ridiculous. Okay? I've shared a lot of their lies where we're all scratching our head like, what? This is crazy. The author of this article even had to point it out. Said, so the magistrate focused on the facts and consequences of June 5th attack, as presented by Jennifer Nix, the city's attorney on the case. Now, oh boy, this is hard. This is difficult right here. This is like the transcript. Okay. She said, you're aware that the dog harmed your daughter? He said, yes. The attorney said, did you see your daughter's injuries? The father said, yes. He said, she says she didn't feel that the dog harmed her. That's what the father said. The father said that his daughter did not feel that the dog harmed her. Now, do y'all believe that his daughter independently came up with that and told her father that? Do y'all believe that? You decide for yourself. Okay? This man got up there and said, hell, my daughter said that she don't feel that the dog harmed her. How convenient of a statement to say that it came directly from your daughter, the victim, the one who was attacked. I don't believe she told him that. So it's like they tried to frame their own daughter. That's what it felt like to me. They coerced her. This is what I suspect. And they did all of that just to keep that dog alive and just to keep it, period. Now, the attorney then said, you are aware there are stitches in multiple places. Now, the attorney said this in response to him saying that his daughter said she don't feel the dog harmed her. So the attorney is like, well, okay, you are aware she needed stitches in multiple places, right? 8 out of 10 wounds needed stitches. The father said yes. And then he said the dog was biting her, but in a playful rather than aggressive way. So had the dog went on to kill her, he would have what? Said the same thing, right? But it was playing. No harm done. I mean, your daughter had gaping wounds. 8 out of 10 wounds needed stitches. But you don't care. Who cares? The dog was playing. That's the nutter logic. People, that I'm telling y'all right now, this is subhumanity, primitiveness playing out right before your eyes. And this is everybody involved in this dog culture. It is very primitive, subhuman, savage, caveman lifestyle. I'm not exaggerating at all. That's what primitive people do. They live with disgusting, disease-ridden animals. That's exactly what primitive savages do. They live with disgusting, foul, stinking, disease-ridden, parasite-ridden, germ-ridden creatures. And they view those disgusting, vile creatures as family members. That's exactly what savage, primitive, subhuman beasts do. You know that's the truth. Don't even play dumb as if that's not the truth. No tolerance for playing dumb, not today. And I'm talking to you dog nutters. All of you nutters, you know that's the truth. Your disgusting lifestyle. And right now you're just trying to rationalize it. Oh, I wash my dog. Now, after he said that, after he made that insane statement, the attorney said, do you consider this to be a serious injury? And she showed a photo of his daughter to him. Picture this in your mind. An attorney showed a man a picture of his mutilated daughter and asked him, do you consider this to be a serious injury? You know what he said? He said, she's fine now. That was his answer. She's fine now. People, this is out of a Hollywood movie right here. A twisted horror film. Tell me I'm lying. She's fine now. That sounds like something you'd hear from a possessed person. Somebody possessed by a demon, right? Your own daughter, your 13-year-old daughter. A lawyer shows you a photo of your daughter torn to pieces. Didn't even make a dent. And it was so bad, again, the journalist had to point out how he downplayed the wounds. Then the father pointed out that the bites did not go down to the bone. Can you believe that? Whoa, stop. Now at this point, I'm like, man, this is not real. This journalist has to be embellishing or exaggerating a little bit. No, it's that bad. So the lawyer then said, do you feel that it would have to be that severe for you to think it's problematic? Which is a good question. She asked him, do you think the injury needs to be to the bone for you to have a problem with something inflicting an injury like that? Unbelievable. This is literally an insane, mentally sick person. How can you not tell? This is overt mental illness. This is overt, people. So in response, he said, I don't feel like that. But I feel like it was one incident that occurred. And I feel like, how can you just determine that the dog is dangerous on one incident? He said, there's no one else in the public that the dog bit or anybody else walking down the street. Now, let me stop there. That's all the more reason why it should be euthanized. You've had it for 2 years. You've never seen it be aggressive, which means it has no reason to get aggressive. Right? But this horror story is not over. Said the dog has been to several dog shows without biting anyone. He did not see why that particular bite was singled out as warranting the dangerous dog designation. Wow. That's the girl's father. Wow. This is my third time reading this, and I'm shocked again. Payne's testimony, the mother, was not much different. But look at what the mother said. She said, we cannot say what happened. We were not there. Wow. We can't say what happened because we were not there. They're lucky that their daughter's alive right now. And the dog has no injuries at all. Okay, the mother continues. She said, what do you think is going on here? That the dog preemptively acts like this? Excuse me, that was the lawyer. The lawyer asked the mother that. She said, what do you think is going on here? That the dog preemptively acts like this? The mother said, I don't know what happened. I wasn't there. The attorney then asked, so as far as you understand it, wasn't as though your daughter was tormenting or abusing or assaulting the dog. And the mother of the child who was attacked said, I'm not sure what she was doing out there. She's not going to tell that if she was. So the mother goes on to imply that her 13-year-old daughter could have been tormenting, abusing, or assaulting the dog. That's the mother. Wouldn't you want parents like that? Wow. By then, it was really a one-sided case. The magistrate's decision, all but certain. Nix did not let up in her closing argument, portraying the city as merciful enough not to seek the death of the dog, though under the law it would have been entitled to do so. So under the law, they could have euthanized it. even against the owner's wishes. Right? If I'm understanding this correctly, please correct me if I'm wrong. That is an aggressive dog, she said, after again summarizing the extent of the injuries. There is no evidence that the victim provoked the dog. Now, this is so crazy. Not even the parents were willing to make a statement like this. Not even the parents were willing to say that there's no evidence that their daughter provoked the dog. No, they rather, or instead said, well, I don't know what happened. I wasn't there. She did take the dog for a walk at 1 o'clock in the morning. I wasn't there. Oh boy. Now, look at this. They say that the magistrate was not out for blood. So he designated the dog as dangerous. Said it'll have to be sterilized. It'll have to be kenneled or otherwise muzzled, even in the house. Now, how are you going to enforce that? How are you going to make these people keep a muzzle on their own dog inside of their house? How are you going to enforce that? People, it's not meant to be enforced. It's not meant to be enforced. It's meant to make sure the dog is euthanized if it attacks again. And that the parents are punished if it attacks again. It basically gets another green light to attack one of the kids in the home again. Now, mind you, the judge could have had this dog euthanized, decided not to. I told y'all, this is flat out overt evil. The dog culture, boy, this is one of the most evil cultures I've ever even researched. It's hard to find groups in history this sick. It's supposed to be muzzled and kenneled even if inside the home. Look at this. If children under 18 are present, how are you going to enforce that? What, are you going to install cameras in their home? Tell them that they're being watched under surveillance 24/7. You can't enforce. This is stupid. The only thing you can enforce is that nobody can own a dog, a large dog, a bully breed, a fighting breed. You can enforce bans. You can't enforce this foolishness. And that's all this is, man. I'm sorry. I don't co-sign with none of this, man. Because remember, that judge, he's a dog lover. You can tell that. Well, this is just a little too much for me. Now, it's supposed to follow a series of other measures to comply with the dangerous dog designation. It'll have to be tattooed with the designation. Now, what? Okay. The owners will have to display signs at all points of entry that says dangerous dog. And they have to get $100,000 worth of insurance. They also owe $300 to the Humane Society. Now, y'all tell me, how is this supposed to keep anybody safe? Tell me. Now, this is a real good question. Does the judge's ruling make the children in that home safer? Is it a safer home with this ruling? No. It's just as dangerous as it was, if not more dangerous. Because the dog has tasted blood. Particularly their daughter's blood. And that judge said, you know what? Just keep a muzzle on it inside the home. You can keep it. So young people, if you've been confused, you think that I make false, outrageous statements that are not backed by facts, I base my statements on the facts. I may not be very slick with words. I may not be the best at explaining or articulating my thoughts. But I can promise you that when I say anything, it's based on the facts. And I'm telling y'all, now this is the father of the 13-year-old who was attacked. And I'm sorry, look at this guy's face. He looks just as dumb as he sounds. Looks just as worthless. Your worthlessness can be seen. And I'm not just trying to be mean here. Like I said, we are nothing but a concentration of energy. And that energy, it gets expressed in our expressions. How we carry ourselves, how we hold ourselves. Things we say, how we walk and talk. And this guy looks pathetic. You look like a pathetic excuse for a father. And even less pathetic of an excuse for a protector. And look at his t-shirt. He looks kind of buff. He's a gym rat. He lifts weights, no doubt about it. So you would think that these are the most protective types of fathers out there, wouldn't you? Don't be deceived. Like I told you, men today, most men, they don't know nothing about no true manhood. He's going head over heels in the gym pumping weights. But when it comes to really demonstrating manhood, and it's through a simple instinctive act such as protecting your kid, that's not asking for much. When it's time to display real, true manhood, you can't do it. This dude, he couldn't even be coached into it, looking at images of his 13-year-old daughter torn to pieces. He still took up for the dog. Doubled down on his insanity. It has been a shame that so many people for so long have ignored this population of psychopaths. Isn't it? How? How could so many of us have ignored sociopaths like this that are just overtly dangerous, threatening? And they are most dangerous to their own kids inside of their own homes. The exact place where they're supposed to be the safest. Backwards existence. That's the essence of Satanism. I'm telling y'all, these people live in lifestyles strategically arranged so that they can embrace these sick demonic spirits or energies. You see, we are a source of energy. But people like this, you are a source of negative energy. Okay? Demons are real. Sick, evil spirits are real. They're in the spirit realm. They are in the physical realm. Intentional or not. It doesn't matter if it's not your intent. Some of these dog owners come across as nice people. But your ability to speak to someone with respect is not a true test of how nice or civilized you are. How you live your everyday life is. Anybody can speak like they got good sense for 5-10 minutes. From what I understand, many serial killers were very articulate. So I don't care if you can make a few YouTube videos. How are you living your life? That's the true expression of a lot of things, man. Your intelligence, how civilized you are, how protective you are, how normal you may be, how far you've deviated from sanity. Whole lot of things. So this article had me burning hot, and it still disturbs me. I woke up in the middle of the night screaming. No, I'm just kidding. It's a horrible story. You know, I share a link to that. Horrible story. Like who on earth goes against their own daughter after they've been ripped apart by a dog and fights to keep that dog not only alive, but in their home, in their possession? What? Oh, God. Shout out to everybody in the house. I'm not done. Oh, I'm not done. Check this out. Now, I told y'all some police department, they're trying to ban the XL bully. And this is all a front. It's all a front. Now, 4 days ago, Times Radio uploaded this little mini documentary on the subject. You know, these are dog lovers, so they're going to run to the defense of the XL bully and any other breed that's talked about being banned. Dangerous dog deaths. Time to ban XL bullies in the UK.
I think that banning the breed.
Now, they decided to interview, you guessed it, a pit nutter. And only a pit nutter. That's the problem. See, media outlets like this, when they hear about, like a police department wanting to ban some breed of dog, the media, the only people they have to interview are dog lovers. That's the only people they want to interview because they're dog lovers themselves. It's because our population is so low. The anti-dog population is very low. So we don't feel these media outlets, because if we did, I would not interview no nutter. What do we want to hear from you for? You're the last person we want to hear from. If we're talking about banning a certain breed of dogs, you should only talk to the opponents. Okay?
It is the easiest.
Now listen to the IQ level here.
I think that banning the breed is the easiest option because it's a quick decision. It affects a limited number of people that own this breed. It will have a positive impact on the middle classes who have cockapoos and, dogs that they love to just let free in the park, and then they can forget about the XL bully. Could you...
Now, did you catch that? She said to ban this breed.
I think that banning the breed is the easiest option because it's a quick decision. It affects a limited number of people that own.
It's the easiest option. Yes, it is easy. That's the whole point. It's easy and accurate. It's very practical. Now, the rest of that babble, I don't know what she's talking about.
Quick decision.
Yeah, it's a quick decision. Usually, when you're right, it's a quick decision. You don't have to put much thought into it. Now, when you're thinking up an elaborate lie,
quick decision. It affects a limited number of people that own this breed.
Okay, and your point? As if a limited number of people could not own a very dangerous breed. What's your point? Oh my, I hate when people lose me like this and start babbling, just talking dumb. God, I hate this. It's not that hard to speak and make sense, you dingbat. Sorry. Let me calm down.
People that own this breed, it will have a positive impact on the middle classes who have cockapoos and, dogs that they love to just let free in the park.
It'll have a positive impact on people who own small dogs. And she said those people allow those small dogs to run free through the park. That is a lie. They are much more likely to keep a hold of the leash with the small dog because they're so much lighter. You are the one, ma'am, I'd be worried about. You big dummy. She's talking about people who own little tiny dogs. They're the problem, not me. And notice how she said that they let their little dogs run free, as if, hey, it's the dog's fault for getting mauled because they were running. Typical nutter narcissism, man.
Who have cockapoos and, dogs that they love to just let free in the park, and then they can forget about it.
Let free in the park? I thought some parks you could let your dog off. I thought that was the whole point. Why? You shouldn't have to stop people this often, because you shouldn't make conflicting statements this frequently. You only do this when you're lying and babbling and sharing a con. I know lying, people. I know liars. That's a true trait of a liar.
The XL bully.
Could you guarantee that your dog won't attack other people or even yourself?
I don't think you could guarantee that from any dog, to be honest. I know people who've had...
Now, you heard what she just said, and look at how pathetic this is. All the attention this dog's showing her is because it wants the food in her little dumb bag. She is so pathetic. So sad and pathetic. And this truly is sad. Where people have such a void. Listen, let me not try to talk as if I understand these people. Okay, now listen to the question that this woman asks.
Your dog won't attack other people.
And then they can forget about the XL bully.
Could you guarantee that your dog won't attack other people? Or
can you guarantee that your dog won't attack other people?
Even yourself?
I don't think...
Or even yourself? That's a pretty good question.
Or even yourself?
I don't think you could guarantee that from any dog, to be honest.
I don't think you can guarantee that from any dog. Exactly. More reason they should be banned. Thank you. Now, I accuse these people of having a low IQ. How can you deny that at this point, when they make my argument for me against dogs? That's how much of a violation dogs are to nature. You can't even talk about dogs for too long, whether you're a dog lover or not. You talk about them long enough, you're going to point out reasons why they should be banned. This is an easy game. This is a very easy game. Or these nutters. Oh my God. It's just, it's so cringe having to listen to them and watch them and look at their hideous turd-faced mutts. But it's very easy work debunking their lunacy, man.
Your dog won't attack other people or even yourself.
I don't think you could guarantee that from any dog.
Like, who in the world would want anything all up in their face, paying this much attention to them just because you got food? Woman, if you had no food and had never fed that dog, it would not be showing you the attention that it's showing you, that you are so in love with, that you appreciate so much, that you are trying to pretend like it's showing you attention because it admires your character. That is pathetic. And with a lot of these people, you can tell they have serious hangups interacting with other people. Quite often, they can't even look at the other person they're talking to. They're looking at the dog 90% of the time. And quite often, they're uncomfortable looking at the person they're talking to.
It's about the XL bully.
That's like the whole reason many of them have the dog. They're so put off by humans, they'd rather focus exclusively on the dog and then talk to a human. That's why they say, oh, dogs help social relations. No, it just helps you to have a fake, disconnected social interaction. That's all it does.
Could you guarantee that your dog won't attack other people or even yourself?
I don't think you could guarantee that from any dog, to be honest. I know people who've had really horrible bites from Jack Russells and terriers and all sorts of different dogs.
She's lying again. She's lying again. She just sat there and said she knows people who've had terrible bites from tiny dogs. You're lying. And I'm not saying that there are no victims with terrible injuries from small dogs. I'm saying you're lying. And one thing I do know is that your dog causes far more damage than these small dogs that you just named. So typical nutter babble rhetoric, trying to say that a poodle or a chihuahua shows more aggression. Boy, oh boy, this is low IQ talk. And the fact that so many pit nutters gravitate towards these same talking points lets you know that they have low IQs. Because none of them catches on to it like, hey, that's a dumb thing to say. None of them catch it. They all just keep repeating it. Oh, other dogs show more aggression. Yeah, they're more aggressive. They're more aggressive. Big dummies.
I know people who've had really horrible bites from Jack Russells and terriers and all sorts of different dogs.
The number of dog attacks in the UK...
Okay, and that's just the end of her point. That's the end of your point? You want us to believe that being attacked by this thing is no different from being attacked by Jack Russell? God. Listen, me saying that these people have a low IQ, that's letting them off the hook. That's giving them a pass. Their low IQ could be the result of them being a crack baby. I'm sitting here conceding like, hey, maybe you got brain damage. Maybe y'all got brain damage. You know, like I've been saying, this is the drug generation. You know, the 60s or more like the 70s, 80s. Started during the 70s. Whole lot of drug usage. Something ain't right. Something's wrong with y'all. Listen, saying that you all are brainwashed is letting you off the hook. I'm saying I don't believe a normal human can be this dumb and out of their mind. There's no way. There's no way our brains is as evolved as it is and it's designed to be this dumb and backwards, where you display stupidity and primitiveness beneath the behavior of animals. Don't tell me ain't nothing wrong with you. Uniters, y'all, you better get help. All of you better get help.
Or even yourself.
I don't think you could guarantee that from any dog, to be honest. I know.
Okay. This is a boy. This is something else. Look at this. I want to show y'all something. This is sad, man.
Injuries. I decided to meet Sophie, the owner of Billy, the XL Bully, to hear what she had to say.
What attracted you to this sort of breed of dogs?
So I grew up with boxers, and I've always liked that style of dog, rather than, let's say, a fluffy type of dog.
Fluffy type of dog. She was attracted to very large dogs rather than small dogs. I wonder why. And you grew up with dogs? That's another hint. You've been around them your whole life, huh? Large dogs? Okay, lady.
To hear what she had to say.
What attracted you to this?
And notice how she rubs on the dog's anus. Rubs on its butt. Did y'all catch that? Okay, you can believe what you want. To me, these are suspected zoophiles. Most definitely.
Had to say.
What attracted you to this sort of breed of dogs?
So I grew up with boxers, and I've always liked that style of dog, rather than, let's say, a fluffy type of dog. And so we were looking at a good breed to get. We wanted something that was suitable for urban life in London, but that would do long walks eventually, maybe even run with me eventually.
All dogs walk and run. What are you talking about? You haven't said one thing that makes sense yet. And man, these things are so flippin' hideous and disgusting looking. Look at how out of shape she is. Do y'all think she's in shape to control this thing? Really? How capable do you think she is of controlling this thing?
We wanted something that was suitable
Wait a minute. So I'm not going to listen to this whole thing. She is babbling, and this is just a disgusting little video. And they're just babbling. And listen, she does not make any point at all. She just shares the same nutter rhetoric. I love them so much. They're not all killers. The same old dumb nutter nonsense that is disconnected from statistics, facts, and logic, common sense. You know the drill. You know how these people are. Now, I told y'all not to trust these people who walk around the house in their underwear around dogs. Okay? Now, how many dog lovers do you think do this? I think a lot of them do it. Also, you got to understand, it could be all of them. We don't know. How are we supposed to know? You know, you step out the shower in your underwear. Your dog is in the house. You should assume that they all walk around in their home in their underwear. Now, this is on YouTube. Now, y'all can trust that if you want. I know a lot of you sick, half dog, half human guys out there. You probably get turned on by stuff like that. And you knock yourself out. What in the world? Anyways, I'm not even going to say anything about that. Yeah, I'm going to leave that alone. I read an article, I think a couple days ago. They said there's about 5 million bacteria in the average person's pillow. And they say that that's far more than the bacteria on your toilet stool. Now, how true that is, I don't know. But if you are a nutter, most likely you let your dog in your bed. And you have far more bacteria than everybody else. And you got more than just bacteria in that pillowcase. Huh? So yeah, I'm going to keep up with this, see what happens. It's worthless. You know, they're trying to give the impression, oh, we care, we want safety. This is a fraudulent movement. If you're serious, if any jurisdiction, police department, any organization, if they're serious about safety, they would push to ban all large dogs. Okay? Now, let's say bully breeds, even though I think shepherds would have to go too. I could sort of understand somebody saying, hey, all bully breeds got to go. They were specifically bred to attack unprovoked. And they were. That's the thing. And they asked this lady in this video. This woman asked this lady if attacking is in the dog's genetics.
Responsible dog owners would do the same.
Whoa.
Answer, because there will be a next breed after this that people will
Right here.
Put in place for both breeders and dog owners.
Whoa.
and thinking about element and a nurture element to them, just as certain dogs will have a desire to chase squirrels or find a dog with a good temperament. But I think if you know, the rise in sort of backyard breeding through
for, you know, bull baiting.
Yeah.
That had a
Oh, God. Here it is. Here it is. Oh, I'm just terrible. I'm evil. I had to find this. Listen, oh boy. She's about to hit you with some more wisdom.
size to it.
What a lot of people question is, you know, pit bulls were raised for, you know, bull baiting, dog fighting. Do you think that is perhaps just in their genetics to be good at fighting?
Whoa. She said, do you think it's in their genetics to be good at fighting? Now, people, this pit nutter, she should have just said yes and left it at that. In fact, listen, if you're a dog lover, that's not the type of question, a bully breed lover. That's not the type of question you're supposed to ask a pit nutter. Oh boy. Let's see how she responds. Now, we all know it's in its genetics. They were bred to attack unprovoked. They were specifically bred to launch an all-out, never-ending attack simply after releasing them. They didn't have to get into the pit and coach the dog with food and try to persuade it and coerce it to attack them. They would just release them. So it's in the dogs, it's in the pit bulls, it's in the bully breed's DNA.
As you know, pit bulls were raised for, you know, bull baiting, dog fighting. Do you think that is perhaps just in their genetics?
I'm sorry. There's a lot of things in their genetics. The bite and hold, the shake, the increased endorphins and the opioids and all the other chemicals its brain releases, the non-stop attacks attack to the death. That's all breed specific behavior.
Good at fighting.
It's interesting because the American Bully is a relatively young breed, about 30 years, I think.
What? Look at how she just immediately starts babbling. She starts, okay, it's a young breed. What?
It's interesting because the American Bully is a relatively young breed, about 30 years, I think. And there was effort made, obviously, to breed based on temperament. So yes, they've brought the Pit Bull Terrier in, but they've brought other breeds in as well. And I think that if you
What is this nutter babbling about? Oh, this is what I'm talking about. Make this stop. God. She's lost me. I don't even know what she's talking about.
is a relatively young breed, about 30 years, I think. And there was effort made, obviously, to breed based on temperament. So yes, they've brought the Pit Bull Terrier in.
There was effort made to breed based on temperament. Okay? So they brought the Bully XL.
But they've brought other breeds in as well. And I think that if you do your research and you go to somebody who is passionate about these dogs, you will find a dog with a good temperament.
What? If you go somewhere and you find someone with a passion for these dogs, you'll find one with a good temperament. So I guess what she's trying to say is that even though they were bred for fighting, you can find some that won't attack you. Okay? Real strong point there. Oh, what a monumental point you made there, Nutter.
Years, I think. And there was effort made, obviously, to breed based on temperament. So yes, they've brought the Pit Bull Terrier in, but they've brought other breeds in as well. And I think that if you do your research and you go to somebody who is passionate about these dogs, you will find a dog with a good temperament. But I think if the rise in sort of backyard breeding through lockdown, puppy farms, etc., and people breeding purely for size and to have the dog look a certain way.
What is she talking about? Oh my God, shut up. God, shut up. Backyard breeders? She asked you a simple question. These are bully breeds. They were bred for fighting. Do you think it's in their DNA to be better, more efficient killers, fighters? Simple question. And the answer is yes, of course. That's a dumb question. I'm not even being sarcastic. This journalist asked her a dumb question. What are you talking about? Of course it's in its DNA. Just like it's in other dogs' DNA to do other things that they were bred for. Where's the straight jacket? Where's the straight jacket?
Years, I think. And there was effort made, obviously, to breed based on temperament. So yes, they've brought the Pit Bull Terrier in, but they've brought other breeds in as well. And I think that if you do your research and you go to somebody who is passionate about these dogs, you will find a dog with a good temperament. But I think if...
She said you will find a dog.
If the rise in sort of backyard breeding through lockdown, puppy farms, etc., and people breeding purely for size and to have the dog look a certain way, you're probably not going to get a dog where the temperament's been considered.
What? What is she talking? Now, mind you, she just criticized people for breeding bully breeds for size. And she's sitting here with a Bully XL. The XL stands for extra large. Isn't that right? The XLs are bigger. They even make double XLs. She's sitting up here with an extra large bully breed. Talking as if that's immoral to breed them and make them bigger, and she's sitting there with a bigger bully breed. How effective do you think she is at controlling this thing? Especially if it's trying to attack someone, where it gets extra strong and powerful. We all know that she's going to go flying through the air, land flat on her stupid face. She's going to take about 20 seconds to stand back up. She's going to waddle her out of shape, dizzy behind over there, and fail to neutralize the attack. Oh my God! She's going to be calling it, and nothing is going to work, and somebody will be another victim. And then we're going to hear the same sob story from her, talking about she'd never seen any sign of aggression, all this nonsense. These people, I'm telling y'all, psychologists, I don't understand what they should be all over this, man. I should get most of my content from them, from the psychologists online who have these people under a microscope. Boy, this is mind-blowing. Where are your doctors and your head doctors and the people, the professionals out there concerned about the mental health of the population? It's not going to get any worse than this. If it does, we're gone. It's over. I mean, how sick does a population of people have to get before you make serious changes? We've clearly been on the wrong path for a long time, far too long. Wow. We're at the point now where we just need to be happy that we're still alive and make serious changes. Divert from this degenerative, primitive, backwards lifestyle. People, this lifestyle, this dog lover lifestyle, this is probably, it is most definitely one of the top 3 worst violations of the universe. I'm dead serious. I'm not kidding. I don't care what planet you even talking about. Okay, extraterrestrials, you disagree? Go ahead and leave your disagreement in the comment section. I seriously doubt even other planets have intelligent hang-ups like this. No, I don't think so. This is a special kind of stupid, degeneracy, of primitiveness, backwards. How on earth are there still people on this planet this cavemanish in 2020? How is this even possible? God, it's like these people just stepped out of the caves. Still swapping spit, sharing the beds. Ugh. And worst of all, these things attack their kids. They defend the dogs. People, it is not my opinion anymore. A lot of people, some of my opponents, they like the old IHD and his conspiracy theories. No, this ain't no theory. This ain't no theory. This is a population of people who function in a primitive way. And it's so primitive and subhuman of a lifestyle that it gets people hurt every day, sick every day, some type of weird infection every single day. These things are having a negative impact on everybody. You and me, just breathing the air. That's the result of these nutters having a negative impact on our air, water, so on and so forth. When we talk about threats to society, I don't want to hear nothing about no gangs. I don't want to hear nothing about no Antifa. Because if the gangs and Antifa live next door to me, but they're not dog lovers, I prefer to live next to them. And I'm not kidding. If they're not dog owners, I would much rather live around them than to live around these nutters. These people make communities far worse than gangs. Far more dangerous than gangs. Like I said, listen, I know gangs. I used to be a gang member. I used to be a knucklehead out here. All throughout the hoods across America, guess what? You have a whole lot of decent people who just don't make much money. All throughout these neighborhoods, you got really good people. They don't make that much money. And the hardest of thugs, they're not going to point their gun and shoot a child deliberately. I mean, you'd be hard pressed to find gangsters willing to walk up to a toddler and blow him away. But a dog, you could pick a dog blindfolded. So yeah, I'm making that charge against the nutter world, especially goes for owners of bully breeds and all owners of large dogs. The worst menace to society is these nutters. Now I'm done, okay? I wasn't here too long. Big shout out to everybody. Well, we had a lot of people in here. What is going on? I've been babbling for a long time. I feel a lot better. These people, sometimes I want to talk about other things. And then I can't talk about it until I get this off my chest first. That is frustrating. So sometimes I just take a break from all dog related stuff. I need that break sometimes. Yeah, this is sad. It's depressing. These dog lovers, they come across my channel and they think that I love what I do. Like I get off on making these videos. You're out of your mind. These videos are depressing, man. Now, granted, I try to find a way to have fun and have a good time, loosen up. But that's just natural instinct. Okay? Oh, that was that channel. God doggone it. I messed that here. I got to pull that back up. Right? Shout out to Kittens. I think it was Kittens who left a comment and shared their YouTube channel. Okay, what did I do with it? Bear with me here. I got to pull this. Here it is. One of the victims that I reported on, they have a YouTube channel. Let me see if I can share it here. Here it is here. This is the victim who was forced to be around a therapy dog after he left the hospital. I did a video on that. I think yesterday, a few days ago, something like that. He has a YouTube channel. And, Kittens mentioned that aside from being dog lovers, that they seem like, good people. Aside from being dog lovers. And pointed out that they wanted him to be around dogs because they're a dog family and their dogs, people in the family own dogs. Maybe your uncle, maybe his auntie here and there own dogs or something like that. And maybe they're still dog owners too. Maybe there's still dogs in that home, which I assume that there is, because their parents is the ones co-signed with him being around a therapy dog. Okay? But my thing is, let's just say I was his uncle. Hypothetically speaking, let's just say this was my nephew. If I'm a dog owner and their dog or their neighbor's dog, whoever's dog, attacked my nephew and left them like that, I'd get rid of my dog. Even though my nephew doesn't live with me, I'd get rid of my dog. That would be a huge wake-up call. Like, oh no. Oh no. You're not going to catch me in that situation. I'm not going to be the owner of a dog that leaves somebody's kid like this. Also, what if my nephew wants to visit my home? He just been attacked by a dog, been disfigured. I don't want this dog in the house. I don't want them around the dog. No, I'm going to just get rid of it. So I feel like the true test of your heart, mind, is how you live. It's your lifestyle. No lip service. I don't care how sweet you sound when you talk. I don't. A lot of abusive people are very cunning, charismatic. That's part of the thing that helps them to manipulate others. But when you look at how they operate in the world, it's not good. And listen, man, for example, I don't care how nice you are. If I leave my child in your custody, if you're babysitting my child, and you, without my knowledge or permission, I find out you brought a pit bull into that home, I would have a serious problem with that. And I would wonder what was wrong with you. Are you out of, you almost got my child killed or disfigured? Are you out of your mind? And I would never allow that my child to stay with those people again, no matter how sweet I thought they may be. And the same goes for these nutters. I don't care how nice you are outside of your ownership of these mutants. The fact that you own them makes you unwanted in the community. I still want you out of the community. I don't want you as a neighbor. You're not a civilized person. These are not civilized people. People who are truly civilized in their heart and mind, they are dead set against endangering others in the community. Your neighbors, you have to stop paying so much attention to walls in buildings. Just because your neighbors are separated by a wall, or you are in a home and your neighbor's in a whole different home, you're still basically in the same home. And anybody bringing these mutants into the community, these are sociopaths, psychopaths. They cannot, will not put themselves in other people's shoes. They have no empathy. They don't think of other people's safety at all. They only think of themselves. And it's really this superficial type of gratification where they dismiss safety even for themselves and their own family. This is a lifestyle of lunacy where these people need to be put in straitjackets. All right, this is my first holiday live stream. First holiday live stream. I say that because I don't have to go back to work until Wednesday. So I get to relax and, complete these live streams like it should be done. And this one is too long, so I'm going to cut this off here. Big shout out to everybody. Always enjoy chopping it up with you all. We had a nice size crew up in her. And I hope to see you all on the next live stream as we continue with this crusade.